Hey, this is Ralph, and welcome to episode 52, and we are working on our goal to get to 2,000 ELO on chess.com. Now, I'm kind of changing up my pattern a little bit, and I'm going to start off by warming up. So I've already done my warm-up process. In a minute here, I'm going to play a rapid game, and then I'm going to do a much more thoughtful evaluation. So part of my warm-up process, a couple things that I did. I read a couple of pages from this book. Now, this book is targeted for really new chess players. How a King Plays, 64 Chess Tips from a Kid Champion by Oliver Boydell. And I picked this up at my library, and I can, it's an ebook, so I can access it on my phone or my tablet or whatnot. And I like it. It's very, very simple in structure, not complicated at all, very fast read, and you might even think that it's got a lot of it's kind of obvious, right? But I'm okay with obvious because it gives me something quick to look at beforehand. So the book has got basically 64 tips for a good chess game. And these are going to be all things that you're familiar with, that you've heard before. And then it gives maybe a couple of paragraphs on it. For instance, I'm looking at the first few here. One of them is obviously play for the center. Obviously that's a concept that we're all pretty familiar. But it's nice to understand it, see it, play for the center, quick read. Another one, develop all the pieces. Yes, develop earlier, develop often. And another one here, castle early. Yes, castle early. So what I'm doing is part of my warm-up process. And I'm going to do different things to warm up. Sometimes I'll do puzzles, but this time I read through the text on these three tips. So, okay, so I've got play for the center, develop all the pieces, castle early. Gotcha. Then jumped over and played a blitz game. Now, and I've got the blitz game analysis board up here, so I'll just jump back on over. So I played a blitz game, went well. I felt like I was in good control, ended up winning the game. Was happy about that. But then I did the analysis, and I turned off the evaluation, the lines, and the explorer. And as I'm going through move by move. I'm looking for the places where I started to feel like I didn't quite feel confident in the move, or it was a little bit, the move I made I know was wrong, or I could have done something better and things like that. So I'm trying to do this without the analysis on. Now, this game was pretty easy to review because I felt good about my opening, and I did discover after the fact a checkmate that I had the opportunity at move 16. So I had a checkmate, and that's already on there because I already tested it out as an alternate line. But really, this game went on to move 26 when my opponent blundered a couple pieces and resigned. However, I'm going through the game on my own, a little more carefully. I'm not looking at any kind of feedback or analysis. I'm just looking at the moves and where did I start to feel like my move wasn't quite ideal. And we get to the point where sooner or later things are progressing nicely. Oh, by the way, I am kind of trying to practice the things that I just read about, develop the pieces, control the center, castle early. And I feel like, okay, I'm reading those things right before I play, so I'm going to give those a shot and try to put them into task on that very next warm-up game or in the official rapid game, and so forth. And I might just hit a few of these things over and over in this book, and I'll reread some sections, and I'll just things that I need maybe little reminders of before I start up my first game of chess. And I like blitz as kind of a warm-up, even though blitz may not be a great place to really learn and get better, but I am finding it because it's fast, it's nice. I'm finding it easy because of that. It's kind of nice for a warm-up. I don't much care about my blitz rating, so I'm okay if I lose a game. I don't, get all bent around the axle on that kind of thing. So I just kind of move through. Now, off on my other monitor, I do have my little document, and I've got this open. I didn't take a lot of chess notes with this particular blitz game. I didn't take a lot of chess notes with the blitz game, but I did come across this, and okay, at move 16, I've got the move that I did make versus the move that I should have made. And I'm sure in longer games or more complicated games or games that were a little bit more balanced from the beginning, in theory, I should have several chess notes. But my plan of action is once I start to discover, let me activate this window again. once I start to discover where these, oh, here it is. So this is move 16. During the game, I went to queen h3. Okay? Yeah, I'm just taking a pawn, thinking that maybe I can work myself into maybe a checkmate. But of course now, since I made that move, my opponent does have opportunities to block and delay. And of course, that's what they did. They're moving kings. And I didn't even check to see, I didn't really think about, because I definitely missed a move here, right? And the move I missed, bring my notes back over, instead of queen takes h3, queen g4, checkmate. So I missed it right there. So that's where my alternate move, queen g4, I'm sorry, queen g3 checkmate. No, yeah, queen g3 check instead of queen takes h3. Sorry, can't remember if I said g4 before. So yeah, I moved in the game, queen h3, just taking a pawn, but of course I missed the great opportunity of checkmate right there. Even though I had plenty of time in the game and stuff, yes, I did miss that opportunity. Just totally slipped my mind. I was too focused on taking a pawn as opposed to taking the king. But I found this to be a really good exercise. And if I jump back over here and, oh, let's go back to my actual move. Yep, and then the king moves away. This would have been, if I continued on with this little process, this is where I would have studied a little bit more and say, okay, well, what could I have done to help alleviate this issue? And I'm not sure yet, and I won't take the time now to go through it, but this is what I expect to do more in my warm-ups. Now, what I think I will do, since I've gone through analysis on my own, and I see it definitely at move 16, I clearly had a checkmate opportunity. I'm going to jump, I guess I can turn on the evaluation line. And actually, I'll just do the little game review. But the key is I don't want to start with the game review. I don't want to start with chess.com telling me all the moves that I should have made or missed out on. I want to see if I can discover those for myself. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump through here. Now I can see evaluation bars. I can get little notes on if it's a book move or not. And I'm just going to kind of move ahead. Now I am making some inaccuracies here that didn't stand out to me on my own personal evaluation. So I still need to refine this process and think, how do I want to kind of handle some of these inaccuracies? Like I said, it's easy to discover the missed checkmates perhaps, but is it easy to discover all the inaccuracies and how I should improve? So I do need to kind of think about that a little bit more. How I want to get better about not only my warm-up games, but also my post-game analysis. Might be a good question for my chess coaches. Okay, what's a really good technique for post-game analysis? I mean, do you write stuff down? Do you look at every move and think, okay, that's the move I made. Was there a better move? Do you spend 4 minutes on every move? That kind of thing. And obviously, game's going well. A couple good moves, couple best moves, I guess, with a little star. Now here we go. So that's a move that I thought I really did pretty well, and I was pretty happy with that, but that's a miss. So I had something a little bit earlier, so let's see what it's saying here. Pawn move. So do I do a double pawn push there? And that's something I need to train myself to be better about. Okay, what about these moves that aren't as obvious? Is there something else I could have done? So, okay. So, and then obviously we can move on from there. Great move, blunder from the opponent, and that was a miss. Of course, really, what should I have done? I should have gone for the checkmate. Okay. So, I feel properly warmed up, and I'm ready. So I'm going to head over to play, and I'm going to look for a 10-5 rapid. My luck has not been good at finding 10-5 rapids. I don't know what it is. It seems like other people playing chess on YouTube and stuff. Now, of course, they could be editing, a bunch of missed timeout, and I would certainly do the same. But it seems like I should be able to find games a little faster than what I do, especially knowing that I can switch over to 10-0, and it seems to find it pretty fast. Okay, I'm back. Well, that's taken forever. Still not working. I did do a quick Google search, and there's a couple people said uninstall the app. I'm not using an app. I'm using the website. I did clear my cache, restarted the browser, see if that maybe works. Didn't seem to work. Yeah, so I don't know what happens. It just continues to cycle through and search. If I switch over to 10, generally within seconds, we get a game. So I guess 10-0 rapid is the way it is going to be from now on, huh? All right, I am white, so let's go ahead and move. Okay, Scandinavian defense. I don't know the variations. Okay, I'm going to keep developing. I'll develop knight first. Oops, I do want to kind of control the center. I forgot to do that. Yeah, blocking in their light squared bishop. Otherwise, I'd be worried about a potential pin. But I guess I'm not. I'll move up here. I think I'm okay with that. Go ahead and castle. Question the bishop. And I think if my knight moves here, actually, before I do that, let's develop this bishop of my own and their knight. Back up. Ooh, I don't know if I shouldn't have done that too fast. Yeah, because after takes, then obviously we can trade queens. That's really not my preference. So should have moved a little bit slower on that one for sure. Okay, let's see. Do I want to react differently? I might now. Obviously, they've really weakened their king side. So I can move my bishop down, keep a better eye on this knight on e5. So candidate moves. Obviously, we have that bishop. However, can I do something with knight takes? If they take back with a rook, I can take this pawn. Knight is pinned. And I can grab that soon after. If they don't take back with the knight, gosh, would they consider taking with the king? That wouldn't be so, yeah. I guess they could, because the king would obviously guard that e6 square. And of course my bishop is still under attack. And last but not least, we have knight here. No, can't do that one yet. Yeah, not quite. That's not so good. Okay. So out of these candidate moves, I think my best approach is going to be bishop hides away. Well, the other thing I am doing to improve my chess game and my thoughtful process and stuff is I'm recording this after work. It is 5:13 p.m. on Monday afternoon. Just finished work, just got out of a meeting not too long ago. I'm still at the office, but I've just got time to think about the chess and move on from there. I'm not distracted by email. In fact, I do have my email open, but I'm going to close my email, keep the notes open. There we go. All right. Now I've got two things under attack. Knight's in a good spot. Attacking my bishop, which is defended. Attacking the pawn, which is not defended. Queen to d3 helps keep an eye on both of those things, and it goes up against this attacking knight. Can I ignore that knight? Move here. Any value to this yet? Could be. If their knight takes a bishop, I take back with the pawn. That frees up my rook on this same file. Could be some excitement there. I feel like that's what I'm going to go for. I do need to keep an eye on my time. Yeah, I'm going to say go for it. Take that bishop. I'll take back with the pawn. Residente 252029 from Peru. Okay, I need to take back there. Let's see, okay, before I move, let's think. Obviously a rook here could be pretty powerful. I'm threatening. Checkmate? I'm certainly threatening a strong attack. Their rook would want to move over, but then I would have a queen here, and that would be pretty much it. The other time, I was also thinking about maybe D, threaten the queen, but I don't know if I want that queen to improve their position, so I'm going to do rook up. By the way, being able to lift rooks was, I think, one of the 64 tips in that book, too. I read through the book yesterday afternoon, so it really is a fast read, so definitely, if you get a chance, look for that one. Remember, it's simple, it's targeted towards young chess players, but easy read, fast read, good logical information, and I think that's kind of what I'm looking for, is sometimes, so many of these chess books we read, they just got a bunch of chessboards out there, and you got to read the notation to find out the good moves and stuff like that, but yeah, I kind of like these simple books. And if for some reason so I'm threatening this. Assuming my opponent can't move anywhere. I threaten that. King has to move up. Oh, okay. That probably is the best course of action. I will take with check. And let's see, how do I close the deal? Let's check again. That should free up my ability to take this pawn. And then checkmate would happen pretty soon after. Okay. GG Residente. All right, I am going to jump right over to analysis, which I guess I'm on. I'm going to turn off the evaluation bar. I'm going to move on position or move one, and I'm going to go ahead and pause my recorder and take some notes. Okay, I'm back. Again, I didn't take a ton of notes. Couple moves that I thought might be some interesting alternatives. Move 8, move 15. I haven't checked out the review of the lines to see if these were actually improvements. But let me show you what I'm talking about here. So if I go back to move 8, I did A3 to push. And I'm wondering if instead of doing A3 to push and challenge that knight, or question that bishop or challenge that bishop, should I have instead gone ahead and developed my bishop? Of course, that would go with the developed plan early. I didn't develop everything first, and that gives me a huge advantage in development. My opponent, still has their knight and light squared bishop back on the home rank. I start this pin early. I'm not really concerned at the moment about this bishop on my knight, so I'm wondering if bishop g5 would have been the better move there. Now, this is the other one that I found interesting. It's position 15. Okay, so if I back up, I brought my queen up. So if we recall, black knight is attacking both this undefended pawn and this bishop. I ignore both of those threats, which I'm still cool with, and move my queen up here to h5. Knight takes the bishop. Now in the game, I went ahead with f takes, freeing up my rook. However, my other idea, which I'll be curious about, is ignore the knight attack on the rook and just go with queen takes h6 and just start to pound on this black king. And I know I've got this knight here, which could go any second, but between the knight and this bishop, I felt like there was an option. So now, depending on how my opponent would have reacted to a move like that, if they took the rook, great, they kind of ignored my attack up here. That frees up a potential sacrifice with my knight. And certainly they would take, because otherwise they're going to have checkmate really soon, right up there on h8. So they take, and then I bring my bishop into the mix. Now they're going to block with a rook. Now the rook is pinned. After that block, I can threaten, has to move away. I can take the rook. Now my opponent still has a material advantage at this point. Their knight is down here by my king. My king can just take it anytime at once, but kind of ignoring it for a little bit, and then they're going to bring their rook in because, obviously they're going to be concerned about what's going on over here. I looked at a couple variations of what they could do to kind of slow down my kingside attack, and this seemed like the best one, is moving that knight up. Actually, no, I take that back. That's not the good move, because then I would have checkmate right there. So I backtracked on that idea, and I did an alternative. Yeah, bring their queen up to f8 to kind of help block this. Then I take their knight down at the bottom. Material is even. My king is doing pretty good over there. And then I kind of stopped there. I'm not sure what my next move would have been, but I'm wondering if it all starts with the queen takes h6. I'm going to go ahead and hit the game review here. 92% accuracy. That's pretty friggin' nice. I haven't been in the low 90s in a while. Looks like White had pretty good control throughout most of the game, and then really had a lot of control in the latter third. Okay. Still no great moves. I didn't love my... Yeah, so... Yep, I'm still working towards this. I want some great moves. I want some brilliant moves. But no blunders, no misses, no mistakes. Interesting. That's something I need to do in my notes too, is not just do the move I made and what I think the better move would be, but to also look for potential mistakes. I want to see if I can spot the mistakes in my own game without the board telling me. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and hit the... I'll do the analysis, but I've got the evaluation on, the lines, and the feedback. Okay, pretty normal Things are doing well here. Trying to develop, take control of the center, castle early. Okay, good. It says that's an inaccuracy. Queen e2 is best. Okay, so I wasn't happy with that a3 move. My other idea from my notes was basically bringing this bishop out. I'm curious if I do bring that bishop. Oh, wait, I need to do the retry. Oh, that's right, I'm not doing a game review. So if I bring this out, okay, the evaluation bar moved a little bit. White's still up, but it didn't have a drastic improvement. But they're saying queen to e2 would be the better move. Maybe a slight movement in the eval bar. Okay, get the queen out. Okay. Now I know it's probably smart of me to also really analyze and notice the mistakes my opponent makes, but I'm going to take baby steps here, and I'm going to try to start slow and just work on improving, reviewing my own moves, and then as I get better at this analysis process, I'll be a little bit more diligent, and I will start to take some better notes, like why do I want to do this move and why do that move and things like that. I wonder if there's actually some kind of chess notation that chess players make when they are taking notes. Like what's a good way to write notes and feedback? In fact, you can probably incorporate it right into here somewhere. Don't they have a notes feature? Yeah, I'll have to study that. Okay, so yeah, so that was... Okay, they threaten, back up. Okay. I didn't like that move when I made it. It didn't seem necessary. And when I was doing my my analysis, I didn't really land on that as being too concerning. Rook e1 is best. Get the rook on the open line. Yes. And it's another one of those tips in the kid book. Yeah, get this rook out onto open lines. Keep calling it the kid book. What's the author's name? Oliver Boydell. There you go. How a King Plays. Okay, my opponent weakens their king side. I back up. That's the best move. Yeah, I was wondering if, in fact, if I go here... Bishop g3 is best. Knight takes d7. Okay, I take back their knight. All right. Those are really the only two best moves for white. Okay, good move. Here we go. Excellent. So that's the best move. Okay, they take. Nope. And yeah, that gives white a huge advantage there. They should have moved their king down to help protect. I take back, which is the best move. Go back here a little bit. F takes g3. Yep, so that was the better way to go. Okay. And then they move their king down a bit. Rook up. Okay, that's great. Rook f6 is excellent. Queen takes, that was the best option for them. Take with check. King h7 is a miss. What should they have done? King takes f6. The king should have taken that pawn. Now, if the king did take the pawn, let's back up here and try that. King takes the pawn. I did think about that. My thought was going to be hop up here. King would move. Queen take, and then it's just a matter of, I just start hunting this down. Obviously, they can do a push there, but it just seems like, yeah, white has just got a huge advantage. And then this is how the game could have ended, but it didn't. Okay, great. So, all right, I feel better about this process. Now, of course, I feel good because I won the game and all, and that's nice, but I do feel better about this process. Warm up, play, study, and don't rush through that stuff. take notes, try to get better at finding out what are the good moves I made, what are the bad moves I made, and then later on, what are the good and bad moves that my opponent made, and see if I can't build up those muscles without without relying too much on the analysis board or the analysis tools, the engines, early on in that process. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for hanging out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again at our next game. Take care.